Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Well, it's my time off again. Yes, it does come around fast, but we've got 4 days off now and time to spend some good time on the allotment and getting all of it cleared, because that is my task by the end of the month, to get every bed dug over, and I'm nearly there. I think I may possibly do it, we will see. Depending on if I go out on Friday night and get drunk, that'll make only 3 days to spend on the allotment. But it's payday and I certainly do deserve to have a night out once in a while. So the question is, did we survive all 3 storms what we've had recently? I can't even remember the names of them. But yeah, wow, has it been dreadful. I don't think the storm Eunice, what was expected to be big up here, was that big, to be honest. It was more the third one that was big in Sheffield. That was really windy. And the thing is, with finishing work at 7 o'clock, I don't get a chance to go down to the allotment at night and go and check on it after I've finished work. So I've been sat here wondering for the last 4 days, is my shed still standing? Because the other day I had to do quite a few repairs to it, as it had got a bit battered and dismantled in the wind and the rain. But I repaired it and got it ready for the storm, which was meant to be big up here, and got it all shipshape. And I thought, I'm not going to spend any money on doing the repairs, because if we get bad storms, I've just wasted money. So I didn't spend any money on it. I just used what I got to repair it. So the dreaded day came today. I woke up early and I thought, I'm going to go to the allotment and let's hope and pray that it's still standing and that don't have to spend too much time rebuilding it all and spending money on it. Because I was literally talking to my friend the other day and I was saying, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for my shed if it's destroyed in the wind, because I certainly can't afford to rebuild it. But yeah, I have checked it today and it is still standing, which I'm so over the moon about, because it cost me like £300 to build, which is cheaper than a proper shed and cheaper than a greenhouse, and it's absolutely massive. But yeah, it's still standing and it's still going strong. There is quite a bit of work what does need doing onto it, but I can keep doing a bit of that throughout the summertime period, hopefully. We'll have to see about doing that, but it's all good, ready to start my seeds off in spring. And talking of seeds, all my onion seeds have started springing through today. If you check out my Instagram, you'll be able to see all those on my photos. Gardening with Ben, have a look, and you'll be able to see all my onions popping through. Now I'm growing my onions from seed this year, not from set. I tried from set last year and I did set versus seed, and seed did better than the sets. So I've stuck with seed, and that's how I'm doing it this year. And also my herbs are doing very well. 2 of my pots have got herbs growing in them. But then I went to check on my polytunnel. It looked like it were fine when I walked on, because the side that I looked at looked immaculate. I thought, blimey, it's lasted another year. It's been up literally 10 years, this plastic. And each year I keep thinking I'm going to have to end up replacing the skin soon, because the creases, they start to disintegrate and wear and tear. And I thought it's going to end up going 1 year. And I went round the corner to look at the other side of the polytunnel, and there is a huge split down it. So we've got to get some polytunnel tape to get the split sorted out. Don't use duct tape if you've got splits in your polytunnel or sellotape. Go for the strong polytunnel tape. It's waterproof, it's fantastic, it does the job, it will hold it firm and tight. And if you've got any rips in your polytunnel, do them fast before the wind gets hold of it and ends up pulling all the polytunnel cover off, because you don't want that. So hopefully it will last another year, possibly a couple of 2 years, but I will start looking around and measuring up about getting a new skin for it. So if there's any polytunnel people listening, feel free to give me a free polytunnel skin. But no, they are quite expensive to buy, obviously not as much as the full polytunnel would cost, which set me back about £500 when I purchased it, which is obviously very expensive, but for the 10 years that I've had it, I've certainly got my money's worth from it. I can't believe how well it has lasted. So it's just going to be a case of replacing the skin and getting a new one of them on. And obviously the UV stuff inside the skin will have gone by now, so it's good to get a new skin on it eventually. So I need to replace it, but it's the work involved in doing that, because I'm going to have to dig all my trenches back out. I'm going to have to put the skin back on, hammer it back to the doors, and then pile all the soil back in with the bricks on top, etc, etc. But yeah, we'll start looking around at getting some skins for it. The question is, should I start a GoFundMe page for that skin cover? Because they're not the cheapest proper polytunnel skins, but they're definitely worth it. And if you put it on right, it will last a long time. Like I said, mine's lasted 10 years so far, so I'm quite impressed with that. So yeah, we'll have to have a look around and start pricing them up and seeing how much it will cost. So keep on listening to these podcasts, because the revenue that I earn from these will obviously go towards it. And I only get about £2 an episode per day, so about £2 a day I get. So yeah, it's not a big amount from my podcasts, but it all goes towards my allotment and improvements. And buying stuff will help me talk about stuff on here as well, so it all goes back into everything that I do for you. So yeah, we have had quite a busy day down at the allotments today. I've been having a good look around, seeing how things are growing. My roses are sprouting, which I planted last month, which I purchased from the supermarket. They're climbing roses, they're all sprouting, which is a good sign. And yeah, I've been digging over some beds. Like I said, I'm nearly at the top of my plot now, so I've nearly dug over every bed. So then we will be doing all the paths, getting all the paths cleared, and then we will be on to sorting out around my top area of my plot, which I've never really done. I started it last year, but I've not completed it yet, so I need to spend quite some time on that. And then also I need to then start repainting all the beds, getting all them painted, paint all my fences, and yeah, get it looking nice, ready for springtime. I'm just waiting to make sure all the bad weather's finished before I do paint it all, because even though it's wood paint, it will wash off after bad weather and stuff like that. So we want it looking good for spring and summer. Just before we start planting everything, that's when I'll start putting it all in, really. So yeah, we've got quite a lot to do. I've been checking all my bulbs. All my bulbs are popping through. I planted absolutely loads at the end of last year. Every time I kept seeing them cheap, I kept buying them to fill the areas up around my plot, and they're all popping through pretty good now. I just need to keep an eye on them, because something's pinching them. I'm blaming the squirrels, but yeah, something's pinching them, so hopefully it doesn't pinch too many and we still get some bulbs growing. But I can't wait to see all the spring colour down on the plot this year. And I've also seen in our local supermarket some hydrangeas, what they're selling, I think at £4 each. They're only small, but they are growing and they look healthy. and I've always wanted some hydrangeas down on my plot because I know how good they look and how fantastic they grow and the colour that they add to the plot as well. So I'm looking at getting some hydrangeas on my plot as well to make it look even nicer and guaranteed colour really. And obviously it all goes depending on the soil quality of what colour they come to. Obviously if it's red it's acid, if it's blue it's alkaline soil. That's how it tends to go. But yeah, I would love some hydrangeas on my plot. That's another plan for this year. So maybe if they've still got any on Friday, we will go and get some hydrangeas for the plot, which I will certainly share pictures of them with you all. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty much busy week down at the plot this week. I've certainly got lots to get done. I'm hoping to get down there pretty early tomorrow. We're going to have a big day down there tomorrow because I want to finish off these beds and then start on my paths and hopefully repair my polytunnel on Friday, because I'll need to go out and get some polytunnel tape and I've not got enough money until payday. So I'll be waiting to get that polytunnel tape and hopefully it won't have blown off by then. But yeah, we're going to be a busy week, so keep watching everything on the socials. You'll see how I'm getting on. Make sure you do click subscribe to this podcast because we'll be talking about as allotment over the next few days. When we're working, it's usually on different topics, but when I'm off, we talk about what we've been up to on the allotment because everybody enjoys it by the sounds of it. It's getting good listening rates, so thank you. And if you're new to this podcast, thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on board and we hope you enjoy all these episodes. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.